Well, I believe in Bigfoot.
I thought you were going to tell the story about why that happened to him, karma.
Well,
Why did Dad start crying when he was 16?
okay, if we're going to go into that one,
You don't need to. Let's not. Don't mention.
because we're now at that one. Why did that happen? Why did Bigfoot visit Dange? Well,
Don't mention any names in this story.
we got to go back. We got to go back a year before all that happened. And it was the same camp spot and the same area, but there was a whole bunch of us that day. And we'd all filled up the trucks and the trailers, and we were going hunting, deer hunting. And I had some of my sons and nephews and some of my friends, and Dange. And we set up our deer camp, and we set up the wall tents, and we had the horses tied in the willows. And at 3 o'clock in the morning before the hunt, we all woke up, all the men, and we got ready to take off for the day's hunt. And we saddled the horses, and off we'd go. And then that left the kids in the camp by themselves for the day. And back then, you had to be 8 years old before you could go on a hunting camp, because you had to be able to take care of yourself, and you had to be able to feed yourself, and you had to be responsible and not get in trouble in the day. Well, wait a minute, maybe throw that one out. By the end of the day, when we got back, they had to be responsible. And anyways, the men, we all went on our hunt, and we'd ride miles down into the Abenaquin country where it was just desolate. And that particular year, there was no deer. They had not migrated into there yet. And so here we're hunting, and we're getting bored because there's no animals. And as we're riding along, we come upon a dead Hereford bull. And we stopped, and Dane says, "Hey, there's a dead Hereford bull." Well, we all knew it was a dead Hereford bull. But we got off, and we started checking the bones and looking at the dead Hereford bull. And we're bored enough that we were all picking up things like vertebrae and looking like, hey, these look like airplanes, and we're playing with them. And anyways, all of a sudden, I turned around and I looked, and both Dange and I at the same time went, "That is a Booger Man mask." Well, who has ever looked at the pelvic bone of a Hereford bull and seen a Booger Man mask? And what would you do if that was looking at you through the trees? Nobody would say, "That's a dead Hereford bull." No. And we all looked at each other and went, "That is the perfect Booger Man mask." And Dange was like, "What are we gonna do with it?" Well, what are you gonna do if you got a Booger Man mask? You are gonna think of something to scare. And we're thinking, we got all them little smart alecky boys back in camp that think they're tough, and they really think they're tough at night when it gets dark. And because there's no deer, let's make up a story and scare them. So all the way riding back to camp, we concocted the perfect Booger Man mountain monster story. And the one rule that we made before we went into camp, because we knew that these guys were sneaky, they were inquisitive, and that they would try to find out the truth. And so we just said to one another, before we go into camp, we are going to act like it's totally true. And even when we're alone or when we're in bed at night, we will talk like it's true. We cannot tell the truth if we're in camp. That was the golden rule. So when we rode into camp, all the boys come running up, and they're like, hey, what'd you see today? What'd you see? And Danes would just say, nothing. We haven't seen nothing. And I didn't say anything. I'm just unsaddling my horse. And they're going, oh, come on, you did see something. And finally Dane says, nope, we didn't see nothing. Except, Ken, tell them what you saw, but you didn't see. Well, I just said, I don't want to talk about it. And I kept unsaddling my horse. And of course, what gets the curiosity of little boys? When you don't want to tell them something. Because at first they're like, oh yeah, sure you saw something. And I said, I don't want to talk about it. I saw something, but I don't know if I saw it. So I just don't want to talk about it. Quit asking me. Kept unsaddling my horse. Well, before long, you know, they're all back. Oh, come on, what'd you see? What did you see and didn't see? Then I knew the hook had been set. And I turned around and seriously said, there's something strange out there. Because we rode all day and we saw no animals, no deer. In fact, the only thing we saw the whole day was a bear and its little cub, and it was running from us, packing the mail like the Pony Express, and yet it wasn't running from us. What would a bear be running from? We don't know. And we rode on. And we're thinking, that's crazy. And then at a split second, I looked over into the dark of the timber and looked away and thought, what did I see? And I looked back. Well, look at this. Watch. Now, if you saw that, would any of you think, I saw something? Or would you just think, what the hell did I think I just saw that I don't think I saw because it's not there? That's exactly what I thought. And I told them guys, I think I saw something, but I don't know if I saw it because it couldn't be what I saw. But the hair on the back of my neck was standing up, and it had me scared. And we rode on. And when we rode down by the mouth of that little draw, where I think I saw something but didn't see something, there was tracks in the ground that big. That big. And they weren't bear tracks because they walked up like a human. One. It wasn't 4 bear tracks. It was 2 that big. That big. Now, the boys now are like, oh yeah, sure, they're just trying to scare us. Okay? That's fine. I don't want to talk about it because it bothers me. Okay, we don't talk about it no more. Well, what's the one thing if you tell boys you don't want to talk about it again? Oh, come on, tell us. Tell us. I don't want to talk about it. And they proceed to kind of try to pull it out, but we just kind of went quiet. And that was the end of the story that night. We didn't talk about it anymore. And of course, guess what the little pranksters tried to do? They snuck out of their beds and they snuck close to the tent of the adult hunters and listened to us talking. But you know what? We were scared. And all they could hear us in our bed going, I'm sure glad they didn't push us anymore to talk about it, because I don't want to talk about it. I said, there's something out there, and it's got me spooked. And the night ended that way. Next day,